1-869-452 and 1-866-6775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, it is Ron Siegel Radio, and we celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. You know, after having a great weekend, I hope you had a great weekend as well. We love the idea of being able to celebrate something that is fun, something that is exciting. You know, we find a list of every day, we find a list of items to celebrate, but sometimes they're better than other times. Sometimes they're, you know, just it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But, you know, something today, let's take a look at what our celebrations of the day are today. Let's take a look. They are, let's see, National Clean Your Virtual Desktop Day. Yeah, I don't think we're liking that one. National Kentucky Day.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we're not too excited with that one either. My mic seemed to be a little off this morning. I wonder what's going on with them. A little bit off. A little off today. There we go. Seems like might be getting them back just ever so slightly so we can see what is going on here. Okay, so let's take a look. I think we've got one. Yeah, we have got National Seafood Bisque Day. Okay, let's take a look and see what else is going on in the markets today. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 78 points. S&P 500 down 13 points. NASDAQ down 35 points. Oil, it is up 19 cents a barrel. You know, we've been watching oil a lot lately. We've been seeing where that has been trending. Yeah, oil is $41.08 per barrel right now as we are chatting. Let's take a look and see, though, what does that mean for you and me? Because, you know, you and I are probably not going to be buying any oil today. We might be buying gasoline, though, because that's the number that is really more important to most of us. Let's take a look. $2.16.7 is the cost of a gallon of gasoline on the national level. Average. Calizuela, $3.19.8, $3.19.8. Hawaii is at $3.24. Mississippi, they usually lead the country. Yeah, they're at $1.84.8. Think about that. They're $1.85 roughly. And here in Calizuela, we're $3.20. It's just enough to drive me a bit batty. Of course, I start out that way, so it may not be the easiest thing right there. So let's take a look and see what else we've got going on. The interest rates, that's the market that we watch quite frequently for you. The 10-year Treasury now, 0.767. That's the yield on the 10-year bond, U.S. bond or Treasury note. Germany, their bond is at negative 0.623. Negative. Give me your money for a year, you don't get it back. Or at least you don't get all of it back. So that is, not a number that we're really too excited about seeing that one right there. Not a good number. Hey, let's see what else is going on in the world today. Yeah, the coronavirus stimulus still in the news. The president has come to a 1.9 trillion. Nancy Pelosi still dragging her feet. She wants to bail out all the states. She wants to waste more of your money. That is her goal. Putting all kinds, I mean, there's a lot of things. If you really look at the bill, there's a lot of extra fluff in there that, you just, to me, it would be a lot easier just to do these things in small chunks so that you end up getting the right things in there. But 1.9 trillion, Ms. Pelosi says that the deal must be reached by Tuesday in order for legislation to have a chance of passing before the election. We'll see if that is really true. Well, I shouldn't say what I think about her. It might get me in trouble. But there's a lot of information that she puts in these bills to just muddy the water. I guess that's the best way of saying it. And we're learning more and more right now. Have you been watching? Well, you're certainly 60% of the people now get their news from social media. And their social media is not really telling us what the truth is. They're hiding the information on the Hunter Biden story because it connects to his papa, Joe. Yeah, they're making boatloads of money. If you want to watch it, there's a fascinating picture I shared. I think I shared it earlier today that kind of talks about the income level of the vice president. It is amazing to me. Think about this. 2016. Yeah, he was vice president of the United States. $396,000 was the family income, Joe and Jill Biden's income. In 2017 to 2019, he went up to $16.6 million. $16.6 million. And you know what you hear from the mainstream media? Yeah, the crickets are louder than what we hear from the mainstream media. Normally, if we would have had a legitimate media, something, you'd be looking at this and saying, they would be looking at it and doing some research, trying to figure out what's going on. But then we get Chicken Schiff. Yeah, that's Adam Schiff, the congressman from right here in Southern California. Well, the DNI Radcliffe today, the Department of National Intelligence. So he basically sees all the intelligence from all departments. He accumulates all of that for the president, arguably sees more intelligence than anybody in the world other than the president of the United States. Came out and said that Chicken Schiff has been lying to us when he says that the intelligence community has already debunked all of the Hunter Biden information. Yeah, the director of national intelligence says that's not true. He says they're not even looking into it because it's a domestic issue. He said if it were a issue dealing with Russia or China or Ukraine, if it was the disinformation campaign that Chicken Schiff talks about, well, he'd be all over it because that would be under his jurisdiction. He'd be collecting that information. He says the Department of National Intelligence, Director of National Intelligence says our external intelligence communities are not looking into this. So figure that one out. That is just common information from and it was fascinating when you listen to the director himself without having the paraphrasing. The director came out and basically just told us that he does not want the national intelligence agencies. There's, I think, an intelligence agency for everything, right? You got the CIA, you've got the naval intelligence, and all the others, right? So his comment is he doesn't want them to be politicized. Think about that. He doesn't want, and that's why he came out. That was the only reason he came out and dismissed the information from Adam Schiff as being a lie. And that's the Director of National Intelligence word. It is not necessary. Well, I've told you many times that that Adam Schiff basically, in my opinion, is in charge of the lack of intelligence committee. If he's in charge of it, you cannot count on it. Fascinating, the whole story. But the Bidens end up making boatloads of money, including the vice president, the former vice president, making boatloads of money Why is that? How is that? How can he be making all that money and and the people don't care? The people don't want to report on it. Social media doesn't want to let it be discussed. Worse than the Nixon era. Just throwing that out there. My opinion, this is worse than Watergate when you've got a former vice president, candidate for president, arguably leading the polls, in the election polls for president of the United States, totally and completely compromised by foreign actors, China, Russia. Biden's son got $3.5 million from the mayor of Russia's wife. Don't look at me. Just look at the wire transfer receipts. You've got that information. It's public record, just not being publicized out there. Unbelievable. We're going to continue our conversation. We've got some more information for you today in the news. Disneyland, we've got some information on Disney. What do you want to know about it? And you know something, I was sharing this earlier. I want to give this to you. How about the LeBron James effect? Could LeBron James effect be telling us or giving us good guidance on what's going to happen in the election? We're going to talk about that. We got a lot more to cover as well today. We're going to chat. Got a lot of information in the Word on Wealth in our wealth segment today. So we're going to talk to you about that one. What's going on in real estate? We've got that information for you also. We got a lot to cover. So we're going to get right at it. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, I gave you that rundown already. Remember, you can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you, but the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestateradio.com for more info.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800. Yeah, I don't know what's going on our mics here today, but we are having some technical issues with our mic wires. So I don't know what's going on here, but we'll get them straightened out. We'll figure out what's going on here and get it corrected for you. I don't know where it's coming from, but we're gonna work on that and get these things off and running in a better standpoint. But hey, let's take a look at the Mortgage Minute today, being brought to you by mysocallender.com. Gold Star Mortgage, when you're ready for that next mortgage. Gold Star, they've got the programs and the products. You've got the phone. Make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Dow Jones now down 79 points. NASDAQ down 41 points. S&P 500 down 9.5 points. 10-year Treasury, wow, the S&P just dropped it down almost 15 points. 10-year Treasury, it's up 2 basis points to 0.76. The mortgage-backed securities down 3 basis points, meaning interest rates are ever so slightly higher today. Why is all of that happening? So we're going to give you that information right here, right now. That's the information. Stocks higher, bonds, stocks are lower, bonds, they're pretty much flat. All due to a stimulus deal that could be reached soon. After speaking with Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin on Saturday night, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said the White House has 48 hours. Yeah, you love it. The Speaker of the House dictating the orders. I mean, this lady's just unbelievable. She thinks that she is president already, instead of if the people of San Francisco watched what she's doing to them, you'd really see that she should be the outgoing Speaker of the House. If other parts of the country, I think the Republicans need to pick up 17 seats to make Nancy Pelosi once again the former Speaker of the House. And what has she done in her 2 years as Speaker other than obstruct everything? Right? And that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to obstruct everything. She wanted to stop the president from doing anything. We've got the false Russian narrative. We now know that was paid for by Hillary Clinton. She bought it. Pelosi fell for it. Then you've got Ukraine. Yeah, nothing happened there, but that's all part of the Clinton problems. And the Biden issue, obviously, the vice president. We all watched him. If you've seen any of the news, the tape is there of him saying that Ukraine was not going to get $1 billion of U.S. aid unless the prosecutor in his son's case was fired. Did you watch that video? I know a lot of places they don't want you to see that. So Pelosi's saying the White House has 48 hours to get a deal done before the election. She doesn't want it done before the election. She wants the election. She doesn't mind the people hurting for another few weeks because she thinks that that's a winning formula for her in the upcoming elections. I'm going to talk to you about that in just a minute because I've got the LeBron James effect. We're going to talk about the LeBron James effect. In housing news, the National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index rose to 83 to 85 in October. Second month in a row that it has set a record high. Report is near the real-time read on builder confidence, and builders are feeling good. Current sales rose 2 points to 90. Expectations increased 3 points to 88. Buyer traffic unchanged at 74. Remember, any reading over 50 on this index that goes from 1 to 100 signals expansion. Clearly, the confidence is very high with such a strong housing market. Builders say they are hamstrung by a lack of land, labor, and seriously spiking material costs. Sales are outpacing starts by a historic margin. And we're going to get the housing starts tomorrow morning. We'll have that for you. One report that I talk to you about on a regular basis, nobody else talks about this one. The September Cass Freight Index, it came out Friday, showed that shipments fell by only 1.8% year over year, which was a big improvement from the negative 7.6% last month and the best level since November 2019. Cass Freight said that the shipment index is now 27.5% higher than the April lows, and we see it staying strong through year end as inventories remain relatively lean, and we expect freight to keep on moving. Freight expenditures, the total amount spent on freight, is up 1.2% year over year and 7% from last year. So even with these low fuel costs, the cost of freight is going up. Might talk about inflation on the horizon. That's not good news for the bond market, but that is what we watch on a regular basis for you. That is the Mortgage Minute today, being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star, they've got the programs, you've got the products, you've got the phone. Make the call. Give them 800-306-1990. So I want to give you some statistics. I'm going to give you some numbers. I'm going to call it the LeBron James effect. The LeBron James effect. So if you remember, it's pretty easy to say. I shouldn't say it. I would say, my personal opinion, LeBron James is probably the best basketball player in the league today. I'm not a fan of his. I've never been a fan of his, but I can watch and see, and I would never say that, or I shouldn't say it. As of right now, I wouldn't say he's the best player of all time. I know there's a lot of people that want to get into that commentary. I am not one of them. I'm going to tell you my opinion. Wilt Chamberlain was the best player of all time. You look at some of his statistics, they'll never be matched, never going out a minute in a game in a whole season. Some of his numbers are just beyond belief. But let's look at LeBron James for a minute. And I'm going to tell you, obviously, he is a far left guy. That's his opinion. That's his choice. He's an admirer of Colin Kaepernick, who last week said that we should ban the police and let everybody out of prison. Ban prisons. LeBron James thinks Colin Kaepernick is a number one guy. Okay. LeBron James runs the National Basketball Association. Some people think it's Adam Silver. No. Some people think that it is Mark Cuban. No, that's not it either. Not the owners. It's LeBron James. LeBron James is the one that said he wasn't going to play if they didn't go through the Black Lives Matter slogans and other slogans to promote social justice. So the league did it. Well, if you remember just about a week or so ago, the Los Angeles Lakers were playing in the NBA championship against the Miami Heat. Think about this. You've got Los Angeles. I think it's the second largest media market in the country. I think New York is still bigger, although a lot of people leaving New York. But Los Angeles, second largest media market. Miami, not a small market there either. In the final game of the NBA championship, think about this. Let's compare something here. Golden State Warriors, they're not in a large market. They're in San Francisco, but it's not one of the major markets. Played against Toronto Raptors, right? There's more people in Los Angeles than there is in all of Canada. So obviously that's not going to be the biggest market either. There were 18.4 million viewers watched the game last year, the final game of the NBA championship last year. 18.4 million viewers. Think about this. Do you know how many people watched the NBA finals, the last game between the Lakers and the Miami Heat? Just take a wild guess how many people it was. 5.6 million people. 5.6 million people. Championship game ratings down 70%. You have the best player in the game on the court. That's LeBron James. Why would you lose 70% of your audience? Well, I'm going to tell you why I didn't watch it. And I've been a lifelong Laker fan. I'll tell you why I didn't watch it. I don't want the politics in sports. Yes, they do have the right to express their opinion. Absolutely. I have the right to express my opinion as well, right? I don't care what LeBron James's opinion is of social justice. If I'm going to tune into a basketball game, I want to watch a basketball game. If I want LeBron James's opinion, which I don't, well, I'll tune into where LeBron James is. He brought it to the basketball game, so I decided that's not what I wanted to do, but that's not what I wanted to watch. I'm going to tell you this. I wonder how many people were in the same world. I don't respect their propaganda. Colin Kaepernick, in my opinion, very dangerous, destructive human being. LeBron James wants to promote Colin Kaepernick. I'm going to say LeBron James fits into the same arena. Now, let's think about this. What does that really mean in everything else? How many people did you hear say any of these things? How many people did you hear analyzing why the NBA Finals was so ignored so much? Here's how I'm going to translate it into the presidential race. If that many silent people, you didn't see any demonstrations against the NBA, nobody called for a boycott, you didn't see any threats, anything like that, nothing. All it was, we got the clicker with the thumb, I'm watching something else. That was it. If that tidal wave of rejection is apparent in the National Basketball Association, tells me there's a silent group of people, and it's a large group of people. A lot of people not liking what they're seeing on the far left. That tells me these people, maybe they're not reflected in the polls at all. These people are folks that just go about their business, don't have anything to say about it. They're not demonstrating about it. But if that's going on nationwide, it might be telling you that the polls again have this race incorrect, that the silent majority is not being heard. The silent majority is just going about their business. They're going to go into the polling places. They're going to cast their votes. They're going to be heard. And they don't want it to be for the left, where they're talking about getting rid of police, getting rid of prisons. I mean, look at the ballot here in California that says they want to get rid of prisons. Now, think about this one, no bail. So you can commit murder, you get arrested, and they let you right out. Have you watched that proposition there, right? The no bail proposition. Think about that. Who is promoting that no bail proposition? Think about that one, right? If you watch the end of the TV commercials, I think it's Proposition 25. Watch the end of the TV commercials. Steve Ballmer is one of the people paying for it. Yeah, he's the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. You're catching a bit of information here. People are saying, something? We're not in step with what's going on in the NBA. We're not in step with what some of these owners are saying. And something? I'm not a fan. I have no tolerance for racism. I have no tolerance for people that are against one another because of their skin color, their race, their sex, their personal preferences along those lines. I don't believe in any of that stuff, right? Everybody's even in my book until you decide that you want to be unequal, right? Colin Kaepernick, when he takes a knee and he has police officers depicted as pigs, something? I'm out, right? I'm not going to deal with that. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want my family to have anything to do with it. I recommend anybody else that's in the same boat, ignore them, right? These are not the things that I want to be known for. Do you? Just think about that. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, real estate continues to show unprecedented strength. 3 things to check on your credit report after the coronavirus relief. What are mortgage points? We'll talk about all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there is an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Real estate continues to show unprecedented strength this year. The 2020 housing market has surpassed all expectations and continues to drive the nation's economic recovery. The question is, will this positive trend continue throughout the rest of the year, especially given the uncertainty around the current health crisis, the upcoming election, and more? Here's a look at what several industry-leading experts have to say. Lawrence Yoon, Chief Economist, National Association of Realtors, I quote, "Home sales continue to amaze, and there are plenty of buyers in the pipeline ready to enter the market. Further gains in sales are likely for the remainder of the year, with mortgage rates hovering around 3% and the continued job recovery." Frank Martell, President and CEO, CoreLogic. Homeowners' balance sheets continue to be bolstered by home price appreciation, which in turn mitigated foreclosure pressures. Although the exact contours of the economic recovery remain uncertain, we expect current equity gains fueled by strong demand for available homes will continue to support homeowners in the near future. Zillow's predictions for seasonally adjusted home prices and pending sales are more optimistic than previous forecasts because sales and prices have stayed strong through the summer months amid increasingly short inventory and high demand. The pandemic also pushed the buying season further back in the year, adding to recent sales. Future sources of uncertainty, including lapsed fiscal relief, the long-term fate of policies supporting the rental and mortgage market, and virus-specific factors, were incorporated into this outlook, unquote. Bottom line, many economists are in unison, indicating the housing market will continue to fuel the economy through the end of the year, maintaining this unprecedented strength. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. SLT Home Digest. Hey, they're going to have the information the county recorder knows about your property. They're going to have the information the market believes about your property. They're going to have it all there. It's all free. You get it from Ron Siegel Radio. And I highly recommend you get on there. Just all you have to do is register for it. Once you go in there, you put your information in, your name, email, your address. No advertising on there. That's the beauty of it. No advertising. You don't have to worry about getting a bunch of solicitations like you would in many other areas. So that's the beauty of going to that particular report, SLT Home Digest. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find that dream home before someone else does. You know, I get a lot of questions about this. This is something that fascinates me. I have so many people ask me, what are points? Ron, are there any points in our private, especially when I'm consulting, a lot of our private clients, they want to know this information. What are points? Should I pay points? Well, the question to that is, it depends. Okay, that's not a very clear answer. It depends. First off, we need to understand what are points. Getting a low interest rate on mortgage can make buying a home or refinancing an existing loan affordable. You could wait for mortgage rates to drop before applying for a loan, but buying mortgage points is another option. Also referred to as discount points. Mortgage points allow you to reduce the interest rate on your home loan in exchange for a fee. This could reduce your mortgage payment and potentially save you money over the life of the loan. But getting discount points may not be right for every home buyer. So what is mortgage points? Mortgage points essentially refer to you paying a fee to your mortgage lender to reduce the interest rate on your loan. It's also known as buying down the rate on a mortgage. Two types of mortgage points you can pay for: origination points and discount points. An origination point is a fee that's paid to your lender to reduce loan origination fees. It has no impact on your interest rate whatsoever, but discount points do. Mortgage discount points can directly reduce the interest rate on your home loan. The mortgage points you purchase, the more points you purchase, the bigger the reduction in your interest rate. A lower interest rate on a mortgage can mean less interest paid in total over the life of the loan. But it's helpful to understand exactly how points work before buying in. When understanding mortgage points, there are two sets of numbers to focus on. The first is how much a mortgage point actually costs. Generally, one mortgage point is equal to 1% of your mortgage. So for every $100,000 you borrow, for example, 1 point would equal $1,000. Remember, these are fees you're paying to the lender, so you have to factor that into your overall cost of buying a home or refinancing a home. If you're buying the home, that's going to be an expense at closing. If you're refinancing, you may be using part of your equity to do that, or you can bring that money in. The other set of numbers to know is how much of an interest rate reduction 1 point can yield. Typically, the lenders reduce your mortgage interest rate by 1/4% for each mortgage point you pay. So you're buying a home worth $300,000, mortgage 3 1/4, 1 point would cost you $3,000. But in exchange, your lender drops your mortgage rate down to an even 3%. The more points you buy, the lower your interest rate can go. Sound good? It's important to keep in mind that you're actually doing or what you're actually doing. When you buy discount points against a mortgage, you're essentially prepaying some of the interest on the loan up front. So you have to do some extra math to decide if it makes sense financially to purchase those discount points. And how much could you save by purchasing mortgage points? Well, that's a good question. And the answer to that one as well is it depends on what? Well, your mortgage term, how long are you going to be in the property, the amount you're borrowing and your down payment, your initial interest rate, the number of points you plan to buy. And here's the big one. How long do you plan to stay in your home or in that mortgage? Right? Because if it's for instance, if it's an FHA mortgage and you're in an area where property is appreciating, you're going to want to refinance that as soon as possible. So maybe that doesn't make sense for you. But on the other hand, if you're buying down the loan, you're buying down the interest rate, you might want to be putting more money toward the principal. And that way it's bringing down the interest rate quicker, or the principal balance quicker, so you can get into a conventional loan sooner without that mortgage insurance. Doing the math on discount points can help you figure out if it's worth paying them based on that break-even point. The break-even point is when the amount of money you saved in interest by purchasing points equals the amount you paid to buy them. It's show and tell time. For example, you say you want to buy a $300,000 home, 30-year term. The lender offers you the option of getting a mortgage at 3.5%, no points, or paying 2 points to reduce your rate to 3%. That's $6,000 to cover the points. But that would reduce your monthly principal payment from $1,347 to $1,265. That means the break-even point is about 6.1 years. But what about the interest savings? If you were to stick with your original rate of 3.5%, you'd pay $184,000, $185,000 interest charges over the life of the loan. But if you were to spend $6,000 to buy down points, that would reduce the interest paid on the mortgage to $155,000. Once you deduct the $6,000 you paid for the points, that results in a net interest savings $23,636. That assumes that you stay in the home for the full 30 years of the mortgage, don't refinance to a lower rate at some point. Good rule of thumb to keep in mind when deciding whether to buy points relates to how long you plan to stay in the home. Generally, the longer you stay put, the more you'll save on interest once you pass the break-even point. Good to keep in mind if you're considering buying discount points for an adjustable rate mortgage. If you plan to sell the home before the rate adjusts, then buying points up front may not be worth it. Can you negotiate mortgage points? Maybe, though it depends on several factors. Generally, you're not. Your lender may be more willing to negotiate fees for purchasing discount points when you're bringing in a larger down payment to the table. There are also times that it makes sense to reallocate your down payment. I've told this to many people. In some instances, if somebody's thinking about putting 24% down, well, take 3 of those percentage points, buy down the interest rate by 3/4 of a point roughly. You save 1% of your cash, and you're getting a much better rate because there's no benefit to 24% over 20% from a rate standpoint. There's a price break at 25%, so you may want to bring in 1% extra to get that price break. We use at our mortgage team, we actually use something called a total cost analysis. It's a very simple report that we put together that just shows you graphically exactly what all of this means. But that's the Mortgage Minute, or that's a mortgage report for you. Just telling you what are mortgage points. All that information you can find at, again, mysocallender.com. mysocallender.com. They've got that information for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we do have that featured home from our friend Jim Salem. We're going to talk about that today. What is a life estate? How does it work? We'll talk about that. And if we can, we'll talk about 3 things to check on your credit report after coronavirus relief. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter at Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL number 018694452.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by mysocallender.com, mysocallender.com. They've got all the information. Great service for you. Again, mysocallender.com. So the featured home, we like to share all the data with you. It is coming to you from our friend Jim Salem, 8444 East Tioga Way, Anaheim Hills. 2 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. Beautiful light and open Anaheim Hills home. 2-story townhouse, spacious kitchen, includes stainless refrigerator, newer stainless dishwasher, and a built-in microwave. Breakfast bar, walk-in pantry, modern, newer wood look tile flooring, newer carpeting, spacious first bedroom with walk-in closet, private full bath, second bedroom with attached full bath. Washer and dryer are included, no one above or below you. Living room, kitchen, patio on the first floor, bedrooms and bathrooms on the second floor. And it's got a newer water heater. I don't know what newer means, but it's got a newer water heater. Hey, the price on this, think about this. This is amazing, this price, when you think about it. $479,900. $479,900. So this property, you're looking at a $3,000 a month payment with an FHA loan, 3.5% down payment. $3,007. That's with, call it $17,000 down. $96,000 down, 20%. You're looking at a $2,440 payment. $120,000 down. You're going to be looking at a $2,338 payment. And of course, I have to do this. The APR is 3.558, 3.074, and 3.079, NMLS 217037. So we got to give you all that fancy stuff, all the legalese right there. But those are all 30-year fixed rate loans. 30 years fixed rate. So I think it's good information for you. I think those properties are pretty amazing. I think that property is pretty amazing. When you just look at it from a purchasing standpoint, if you get $3,000 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2 full bath property, what are you paying when you're in rent? Right? For those of you that are first-time home buyers, or you're a newly married couple, you're single, $3,000 for the payment on that, I think it's pretty startling to me. But hey, who am I? I'm just a guy doing a little bit of radio, and maybe I've got some kids that think about these things, so I do have a little bit of information on it, a little bit of insight. Just throw that out there for you. Again, that's the featured home, brought to you by mysocallender.com, mysocallender.com. So we've got some other information we want to get shared with you today. I don't want to get the wealth tax. What is a life estate and how does it work? If you own a home, passing that property on to someone else, whether it's a spouse, child, or someone else, requires planning ahead. That's where a life estate comes in. A life estate is a legal way to own property with someone else and pass it on to them automatically when you die. Creating this type of ownership, it's an ownership arrangement, can help remove the property from the probate process, and a life estate can also be useful when planning for long-term care needs if you anticipate having to apply for Medicaid. If you want hands-on guidance and navigating this process, consider matching with a financial advisor in your area, or you might want to be calling our friend Laura Meyer over the Meyer Law Firm. She might have some information for you on this. So what's the definition? A life estate is a special ownership arrangement that allows you to share a property with someone else. Each of the people in a life estate has an ownership interest in a piece of real estate, typically a primary home, but over different time periods. The person who holds the life estate is called the life tenant. So that's you if you're the homeowner. As the life tenant, you own the property during your lifetime. The other person in the life estate is called the remainder man. No gender issues here. They just call it a remainder man. This person has an ownership interest in the home, but they cannot technically own it until you pass away. But when you die, the home becomes theirs automatically. A life estate offers a legal way to jointly own property and make ownership transition smoother after your death. So say you own a home that you want to leave to one of your children. You could establish a life estate deed specifying yourself as the life tenant and your child as the remainder man. During your lifetime, you can continue to live in the home. You'd be responsible for paying any pre-existing mortgage obligations, property taxes, and or homeowner's insurance for the property. You'd also be responsible for keeping up maintenance and repairs. As the life tenant, you could also make improvements to the property or even rent it out. You wouldn't, however, be able to do certain things such as taking out any kind of a mortgage loan against the property, including a home equity conversion mortgage, without the remainder man's consent. A life estate deed would also prevent you from selling the home, since the remainder man has an ownership interest in it. At your passing, the property would automatically transfer to the remainder man. At that point, they'd be able to do whatever they want, whatever they like with it, including living in it, renting it, or selling it. What are the benefits? So there are several advantages of including a life estate in your estate plan. First, and perhaps most importantly, doing so allows your heirs to avoid the probate process for the property in question. Since ownership transfers to them automatically, they wouldn't need to produce a will or go through probate to claim the property. Good thing, since probate can sometimes be a lengthy and expensive process. In that respect, having a life estate in place is similar to establish a living trust. Just like a life estate, assets held in a trust don't have to go through probate. Instead, they can be passed on directly to the beneficiaries named in the trust. Establishing a life estate can also offer reassurance for the life tenant that they'll always have a place to live. The terms of a life estate deed specifically state that the life tenant has the right to use the home during their lifetime. And for the remainder man, a life estate is essentially a guarantee that they'll receive ownership of the home once the life tenant passes away. That means there's no room for error, unlike a will, which could be contested by your heirs or others. A life estate could also be useful in Medicaid planning. Medicare doesn't pay for nursing home care, but Medicaid could cover such costs for people who are income and asset eligible, including a home in a life estate, can help the remainder man avoid Medicaid estate recovery after their life tenant passes away. Medicaid estate recovery is a process in which the government may try to recoup some of the costs. So that's just a little bit of information. If you want the full report, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. Talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.